Some events are predictable. The consequences and dimension of such events, however, are rarely accessible. Only flexible reactions to changing situations are geared towards the goal. Hence, requests to be ready to respond proactively to changes and provide solutions. Boehringer Ingelheim is a research-driven corporation focused on research and development, the chemical manufacture of active ingredients, pharmaceuticals and biopharmaceuticals for the improvement of health and quality of life. Accepting the constantly changing challenges presented by new diseases is our strength. In 1885, Albert Boehringer founded Boehringer Ingelheim, a family-owned company in Ingelheim am Rhein, where the corporate headquarters are still located today. Worldwide, our medicines, which rank among the leading products in respiratory and cardiovascular diseases, disorders of the central nervous system, urological diseases, rheumatoid arthritis, and HIV, are designed to improve life for the patients. Respiratory diseases are our largest market segment. Spiriva is our latest product, which provides superior symptom relief and a persistent long-term improvement in COPD. In cardiology, we have three main pillars, supported by Agrinox for the secondary prevention of stroke, Actalyze and Metalyze for myocardial infarction are our main biopharmaceutical products. In urology, Alna is an alpha blocker for the treatment of benign prostatic hyperplasia. In rheumatology, Mobic is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug for symptomatic treatment of rheumatic diseases. In diseases of the central nervous system, Cifrol is used in the treatment of early Parkinson's disease. Lendormine is for the short-term treatment of difficulties in initiating and maintaining sleep. In virology, Viramune is a non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitor for treatment of HIV and has also been offered in a donation program to developing countries. In gastrointestinal diseases, Buscopan has been used since 1956 for the treatment of spasms of the gastrointestinal tract. Boehringer Ingelheim, with 156 affiliated companies around the globe, has more than 34,000 employees. Human pharmaceuticals account for the lion's share of net world sales. We have organized our research activities in centers of excellence, individual research sites around the world which have full responsibility for specific indications. Supported by 3,000 scientists and technicians in research and development and 1,800 employees in clinical investigation. The goal is to identify medically relevant and innovative therapeutic approaches with the aim of developing therapeutic products that offer a significant benefit to patients. Spending on research and development reflects 1/5 of the total sales of our core business, prescription medicines. Current R&D activities in Germany are focused on respiratory and metabolic diseases and disorders of the central nervous system. In respiratory research, disease-related genes can be identified in lung tissue with DNA microarrays. Their activity is measured by expression of messenger RNA. In chronic bronchitis, the upregulation of such genes correlates with an increase in the number of goblet cells and an excess of mucus production. Therapeutic intervention with new drugs is expected to reduce the number of goblet cells to normal levels, resulting in reduction of inflammation and prevention of bronchoconstriction. In type 2 diabetes research, we use modern technologies such as NMR or X-ray crystallography on promising targets for rational lead structure optimization. Elevated plasma lipids are a major risk factor for the development of cardiovascular diseases due to the formation of atherosclerotic plaques in the vessel walls. The various lipid fractions are analyzed for the diagnosis of the individual risk. At Boehringer Ingelheim, products are being developed which either lower LDL cholesterol or even increase the beneficial HDL cholesterol fraction. Such an improved lipid profile can reverse the buildup of atherosclerotic plaques. Genomic and molecular biological methods have allowed new targets to be identified for the treatment of obesity. In this therapeutic area, Boehringer Ingelheim has another research focus. In diseases of the central nervous system, disturbances of signal transduction and information processing in the brain is the major research area. Such processes can be measured directly by recording electrical currents from nerve cells. In discovery of new treatments for chronic pain, we systematically investigate those nerve connections which lead to pathological pain perception. Our aim is to influence the transmission of the pain impulse through the spinal cord to the cortex therapeutically. In Parkinson's disease, the deterioration of neurons in a distinct brain area, the substantia nigra, leads to a reduction in dopamine release from synapses on these neurons, which causes the movement disabilities in patients. A Boehringer Ingelheim product, pramipexole, compensates for the loss of dopamine release. In Alzheimer's disease, we aim to inhibit the generation of a toxic peptide which accumulates in these patients' brains, causing nerve and synapse damage, which consequently leads to loss of memory. The Boehringer Ingelheim Research Institute for Molecular Pathology in Vienna, Austria, enjoys an excellent reputation around the world in biomedical research, developmental biology, cell cycle regulation, and molecular genetics. The elucidation of pathophysiological correlations plays an important role. At the Oncology Research Center of Boehringer Ingelheim, Austria, in Vienna, specific discovery programs have been set up for small molecules, therapeutic proteins, and toxin-conjugated monoclonal antibodies. One of the key areas in oncology is angiogenesis. Magnetic resonance imaging technology allows tumors to be monitored in the whole animal, non-invasively and with high resolution. Extensive programs are in progress to identify specific interactions between small molecules and tumor-specific targets. In Ridgefield, Connecticut, USA, the R&D Competence Center is an essential pillar. Our research into cardiovascular diseases concentrates on antithrombotics, which interact at the various stages of the thrombolytic cascade. In addition, gene therapeutics are under development which stimulate arteriogenesis and support bypass surgery. Intercellular signaling processes by cytokines mediate the immunological and inflammatory response. Elevated levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines are associated with several autoimmune diseases. Besides this pathogenicity, cytokines have the ability to stimulate their own DNA-mediated synthesis. This process starts with the binding of cytokines to specific cell receptors, leading to their activation. This initiates a number of intracellular signaling processes, which in turn activate MAP kinase kinases by phosphorylation, which then activates MAP kinases, inducing transcription factors and leading to the synthesis of cytokines. Molecules of this signaling cascade, such as MAP kinases, are therefore potential targets for drug development to block overexpression of cytokines. Such compounds are presently under clinical evaluation in autoimmune and chronic inflammatory diseases. In Canada, our research focuses on chronic and acute viral infections, primarily infections due to the hepatitis C virus and HIV virus type 1. The ability of HIV to infect cells is essential to its replication. 3 viral enzymes play an important role in this process: reverse transcriptase, integrase, and protease. They are the drivers for the formation of infectious HIV particles. Therefore, these targets are the focus of our drug discovery. The function of the polymerase active site of reverse transcriptase can be inhibited by nevirapine, a non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitor. Tipranavir, a non-peptidic protease inhibitor, blocks the HIV protease. As a result of the flexible binding, tipranavir retains its activity even in the presence of multiple protease mutations. These therapeutic principles are an exciting, innovative option to reduce HIV replication. Our Pharma Research Institute in Japan has in-depth knowledge of molecular and cell biology and supports the development of chemical new entities at other R&D centers of excellence with tools for high-throughput screening. In our galenical research in Germany, based on our experience in the treatment of asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, by means of inhalation devices which have proven effective, we will also be applying this franchise for pulmonary delivery of therapeutic proteins to the treatment of chronic diseases. In the laser light, the distribution of particles suitable for adsorption in the lung alveoli can be measured. Resumer is the brand name for copolymers of lactic and glycolic acid, which in addition to use in surgery, serve as long-acting release systems for parenteral application. A franchise which also benefits our strategic partners in the formulation of pDNA and therapeutic proteins. Boehringer Ingelheim optimizes its input into research and development through strategic alliances with external research institutes and innovative pharmaceutical companies. These activities supplement our product portfolio in our therapeutic areas. As regards the development of medicinal products, Phase 1 studies at our human pharmacology centers reflect the critical interface between preclinical investigation and clinical research. Boehringer Ingelheim operates 2 human pharmacology centers of its own, in Ingelheim and Biberach. Every year, these institutes run approximately 30 human pharmacology studies with new products of significant strategic importance and with new galenic formulations. Both human pharmacological centers collaborate closely with the departments for drug metabolism and pharmacokinetics at the R&D centers in Vienna, Biberach, and Ridgefield. There, highly automated systems are used to analyze the concentration of the new compounds in body fluids, with a high level of sensitivity and accuracy. These investigations are important for the further development of new drugs that are safe and effective. In this constellation, Boehringer Ingelheim is an excellent partner for clinical development. This is supported by a number of clinical mega studies such as ASCENT-3 with more than 6,000 patients at 575 centers. The OnTarget cardiovascular protection trial is a randomized, double-blind, multi-center study involving 25,622 patients at 793 clinical centers in 40 countries. Our broad experience in clinical trials with biopharmaceuticals includes therapeutic proteins, monoclonal antibodies, and gene therapeutics in the following indications: renal transplant, chronic granulomatous disease, sarcoma, pulmonary embolism, stroke, and acute myocardial infarction. Our products are developed for worldwide registration with approvals in more than 120 countries. Over 1,100 people are employed to prepare the documentation. We provide the full paper documentation or electronic submissions for worldwide approval, depending on countries' local requirements for the registration of pharmaceuticals. In operations, our production sites are located in 20 countries worldwide. Our core strengths in chemical synthesis are heterocyclics, nucleosides, chiral chemistry, and carbohydrates. In Germany, we concentrate on the launch of new products and the synthesis of highly complex molecules. Chemical production in Italy and in Spain deliver economically attractive and well-established compounds. Our manufacturing site in the USA produces highly active compounds, such as toxins and anti-tumor drugs, which are subject to very strict safety measures. At our pharmaceutical manufacturing sites in Europe, North and South America, Japan, Taiwan, Korea, Indonesia, and China, we apply classical technologies such as tablets, sugar-coated tablets, suppositories, ampules, lyophilizates, liquids, and powder inhalation. This franchise in pulmonary delivery can also be used for the administration of biopharmaceuticals for chronic diseases. Boehringer Ingelheim was very quick to recognize the opportunities of the modern era of biotechnology, which is supported by genetic engineering. Our FDA-approved sites in Vienna and Biberach promoted us to a leading position in the development and manufacturing of biopharmaceutical active ingredients and finished products. Boehringer Ingelheim, Austria has fermenters ranging from 30 to 6,000 liters, with the corresponding downstream processing, which includes an explosion-proof area. This is where we manufacture non-glycosylated therapeutic proteins, single-chain antibodies, and gene therapeutics. In Biberach, Germany, we operate mammalian cell culture bioreactors ranging from 80 to 15,000 liters. With 12 fermentation trains installed, the total volume amounts to 180,000 liters. Downstream processing is matched to the scale of fermentation. The fill and finish operations are adjusted to biotechnical production capacity. We provide the entire process chain through development and commercial manufacturing. With Benvenue Laboratories in the USA, we own one of the largest manufacturers in aseptic filling and lyophilization. This franchise supports the fill and finish of biopharmaceuticals for the U.S. market. Through the appropriate investments and qualified workplaces, we are expanding our pole position in this biopharmaceutical business segment. So far, Boehringer Ingelheim has twice dedicated its largest individual investments to biopharmaceutical development and manufacturing, in 1985 and in 2003. Our strategic partners in the manufacturing of biopharmaceutical products include innovative research companies and global pharmaceutical industry. In order to provide our therapeutic products to physicians worldwide and thus to patients, Boehringer Ingelheim has developed efficient marketing and sales strategies and runs worldwide sales forces which concentrate on Europe and the most important markets, the USA and Japan, with a certain presence in South Africa, South America, Canada, the Middle East, Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. In addition, our strategic partnerships in marketing and sales support the worldwide time-to-market launch of our products in an effort to serve our patients' needs as best as possible. The most recent example of a strategic alliance is Spiriva, which we co-promote worldwide with Pfizer. Spiriva, discovered and developed by Boehringer Ingelheim, is a novel, once-daily inhaled anticholinergic used to treat patients with COPD. Another example is the strategic alliance with Eli Lilly for the joint commercialization of duloxetine to treat stress urinary incontinence and major depressive disorders. Our global strategy, which is to react to new situations and secure continuity in economic development with our own innovations and solid strategic partnerships, has proven successful. On the basis of this effective concept, Boehringer Ingelheim is the ideal partner for successful joint product development, production, registration, and worldwide marketing and sales of pharmaceuticals and biopharmaceuticals. Experience for success.